My name is Siyana. I am 26 years old, and I live in a small rented apartment with my husband, Ishon, in a town where life moves faster than our dreams ever could. Ishon and I were married for 3 years now. And although we didn't have much, we had each other. And that always felt like enough. Ishon worked in a cloth manufacturing company, owned by one of the most powerful businessmen in the region. Everyone respected his boss, not out of love or admiration, but out of fear and power. I had only heard stories about him. How cruel he could be, how he never rewarded loyalty or effort, and how his wealth protected him like an invisible shield. Ishon had worked there for nearly 3 years. I watched him come home every night with tired eyes and calloused hands, always talking about how the company needed newer machines to improve production speed. He suggested it countless times to his boss. But every time, his words were dismissed like they meant nothing. Ishon never stopped trying. He believed hard work could move mountains. But sometimes, love and effort don't win over arrogance and power. One morning, Ishon left for work in such a rush that he forgot to take his lunch. I packed it for him lovingly, like I always did, and decided to take it to him myself. I wore a clean white dress, tied my hair back neatly, and walked to his workplace, not knowing how that one small act of love would change everything forever. As I entered the company compound, I didn't see Ishon right away. But before I could ask someone, a tall man in a dark blue suit stepped in front of me. I knew instantly it was Ishon's boss. He looked at me in a way that made my skin crawl. His eyes didn't just see me, they examined me, consumed me. "I'm here to give this lunchbox to my husband," I said politely, trying to avoid eye contact. "Oh, give it to me. I'll make sure he gets it," he replied smoothly. I hesitated for a moment, but didn't want to seem rude. I held out the box to him. That's when it happened. He took the box with one hand, but with the other, he gently grabbed my wrist. His fingers were soft, but his grip sent shivers down my spine. It was as if he wasn't holding me. He was pulling me. My body stiffened. I quickly snatched my hand away and stepped back. "I'll go now," I said quickly and turned around before he could say another word. My feet moved faster than my thoughts. My heart pounding with confusion, shame, and fear. I didn't look back. I just wanted to be home. Back at home, I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. The lunchbox still heavy in my memory. I didn't tell Eshan. What could I even say? That his boss had touched me in a way that made me feel like nothing more than an object. I didn't want to worry him. Maybe it meant nothing. Maybe I imagined the whole thing. Days passed, but that moment stayed with me like a shadow. I tried to distract myself with my own career. I was a teacher at a small local school. But I always dreamed of teaching at a bigger institution, where my skills would be recognized, and the salary would help support our dreams. One evening, as Eshan and I were sitting together, I gently brought it up. I think I should leave this job, Eshan. I want to apply in another city. A big school. Maybe we could move together? He was quiet for a long time, his eyes focused on the floor. But, my job, he whispered. I've worked so hard. And we don't even have enough saved to start over. I know, I said softly, but we can't keep going like this. He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. Okay. Tomorrow, I'll resign. I was surprised. I knew how much his job meant to him. But he loved me more. The next day, he went to his workplace, carrying years of hope and a resignation letter. But something unexpected happened. He came back home with a different expression, shocked and excited. Guess what? He said, walking in with bright eyes. I told my boss I wanted to leave. And for the first time, he actually listened. He promoted me, Siyana. And he doubled my salary. I tried to smile. I really did. But my heart didn't feel the same excitement. I remembered those hands, that look. I didn't want to stay here anymore. But I couldn't tell him, not now. The money helped, but it wasn't enough. The rent, electricity bills, and hospital charges from my recent illness were piling up. I had already quit my job and had no income. One afternoon, the landlord banged on our door, demanding payment. I stood there, silent, ashamed. I felt useless. "Let's go," I told Ashon that night. "Let's just leave." "We will," he promised. "But let me save some money first. Just a little more." And then, everything went wrong. One evening, while Ashon was at work, someone knocked at our door. I opened it, and froze. It was him. Ashon's boss. He walked in without waiting for an invitation, holding an envelope in his hand. "You need money," he said, smiling like he knew every secret I never spoke. "I can help." I didn't answer. I just stared. "Spend one night with me," he said, brushing his fingers along my back. I jerked away. "What did you just say?" I asked, my voice trembling. "You heard me." "Get out," I screamed. "Get out." He smirked but left, and I collapsed on the floor, shaking. That night, Ashon met with an accident on his way home. I rushed to the hospital, tears streaming down my face, praying endlessly. Thankfully, his injuries weren't too serious. But the bills, they were. I sat beside him, holding his hand, but my mind was spinning. The rent, the hospital, the debt. Everything was crashing down. And we had nothing. That night, I went home alone. I cried like never before. Every part of me screamed not to do it. But another part reminded me we had no choice. With trembling hands and a heart that no longer felt like mine, I stood before Ashon's boss. Slowly, I removed my scarf. Along with every shred of dignity I had left, and whispered, "I accept your offer." I said, voice flat, eyes numb. That night, everything broke inside me. My dignity, my pride, my soul. I wanted to run far away from that place, to scrub the memory off my skin. But I couldn't. When that horrible night finally ended, I walked home silently. I didn't even wash my face. I just sat on the floor and cried. I paid the bills the next day. When Ashon came home, he looked at me with confused eyes. "How did you pay for all this?" I forced a smile. "I borrowed from a friend." "But you don't have any close friends, Siyana." His voice rose. Tell me the truth. And I broke down. I told him everything. Every word. Every tear. He didn't say anything at first. He just stood there, frozen. Then he left. I chased after him, screaming. He's dangerous, Ishon. You can't fight him. But he didn't stop. He stormed into his boss's office and punched him so hard that blood poured from his mouth. Stay away from my wife. Stay away from my family, he growled. Someone told us afterward we had messed with the wrong man. His power was endless, and even the police feared him. We were warned to leave, or die. So we packed everything we had in 2 small bags and left that same night. While driving to a nearby town, our car tire burst. Eshon pulled over to fix it. It was getting dark. That's when we saw headlights. A car speeding toward us. It was him. Drunk. With a gun. We ducked inside the car, holding our breath. By some miracle, he didn't see us. His car sped past, disappearing into the night. We stayed in the car till morning. The next day, we found a petrol station and continued our journey. At the petrol pump, we heard the news. The rich, powerful man who haunted our lives was dead. His car had crashed that same night. I didn't know what to feel. Relief. Guilt. Fear. Maybe all of it. We reached a new town. Eshon found a job quickly. And we rented a small, but cozy house. I applied to a reputed school. And I got the job. Our new life began. We don't talk about that night. Not often. But I still wake up crying sometimes, remembering the way his hand gripped mine. The way power took away my choices. But we survived. And sometimes, surviving is its own kind of victory. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to subscribe. Your support means a lot and helps us share more beautiful stories with you.